Hey guys, it's just me today, just Tyson. Carolyn, okay, now the live button just came up. Hey guys, it's just me today, just Tyson. Carolyn is actually out doing a deal right now. That's what we do professionally here at Transworld, is we help business owners sell their businesses and future business owners buy existing businesses. But this, of course, is about your franchise business future and help you get into a franchise business with creative financing. So I'm going to get into that in just a minute. We will give everybody a chance to join the webinar. And while we do that, go ahead and leave in the comments how you heard about us. And also leave in the comments where you're from, And you can start asking questions as well. If you're watching the replay, we'll probably start about 3 to 5 minutes into this recording, so feel free to fast forward and find that spot and start watching the webinar from there. But for those that are live, just go ahead, leave comments and start asking questions, and we will do our best to answer those actually after the webinar is over. I'll go reply to those. I don't have a webinar administrator today, somebody who's on the other computer monitoring the comments, so I only have one screen running today. And we're actually in the office that we are in the process of moving to a new location. We're going to be in a different building, a different place, so excuse any mess that you see. I'm also here. Sorry about that, guys. Got some of the team. We got Jen. We got Rainey over here. She's on the phone. So anyway, like I said, guys, if you're watching the replay, this will start at about 3 to 5 minutes into the video. For anybody live, just go ahead and start asking questions and leaving those comments about where you're from and what you'd like to learn right now. Okay, I'm going to get my screen ready. All right, sounds good. Okay, my screen. Looks good. Oh, and by the way, guys, inside of the live webinar room, you probably noticed that it's a little bit different from other places that you've seen online. And I'm sorry about any slow connection speed today. I think our Wi-Fi is a little slow here at the office. But my shirt says we are not Confusionsoft, we are ClickFunnels. You're actually seeing this webinar inside of the ClickFunnels software. I love this software. It's absolutely fantastic, and I recommend anybody to check it out. In fact, there may be a link on the page. If not, send me an email or leave me a comment, and I will share a link with you to try this out for 14 days free. So just let me know if you guys want to check that out for yourselves and your own businesses. All right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now, and we will jump right into the presentation, guys. Do this. Great. Okay, guys, let me go into presenter mode here. Looks like we might be off air for a second. Okay, here we go. Slow internet ruins everything, guys. Okay. So this is the presentation today, of course, how to own your own franchise business without getting help from an investor. So it says 1 hour training. This is probably going to be closer to 30 minutes, guys, and I will be available to answer your questions anytime. Just shoot us an email, leave a comment, and of course, that's covered here. Use the chat if you like, or message us on Facebook Messenger also. That is our messenger address. Go to facebook.com/transworldlasvegas. It's actually m.me/transworldlasvegas, I believe. But regardless, just go to our Facebook page there, give us a like, and then click on the send a message button, and we can interact that way also. Okay. And of course, no sales pitch here today, guys. We don't actually sell franchise businesses at Transworld. We do have partners who sell franchises and can take the next step that way. We help people sell and buy existing businesses, but we are a franchise ourselves, and we are business experts. So when it comes to building your business empire, figuring out financing, and figuring out what is the best franchise for you, we can certainly help you there. And then we can connect you on the back end to the right franchise for you. And we'll connect you with some of our partners that have helped us start our own business to get into the correct franchise for you. So anyway, I did explain a little bit about who we are. We are business matchmakers, and the mission today is to help you figure out how you can afford to follow your dream and become a business owner. Okay, and it's just me today, guys. Carolyn is out on assignment. She has an offer for a business that she has to write. But about myself, I'm the founder of TysonIsham.com. I'm the marketing director also here at Transworld Business Advisors of Las Vegas. Okay, so real quick, go ahead and leave your answer in the comments, but I want to take a little poll. What percent, in your opinion, what percent of all retail and service establishments are franchises? 1%, 50%, 23%, 8%? Just go ahead and leave your answer and what you think the percent of all retail and service establishments are franchises. Jump into the answer. Percent. Now that may seem surprising for some because there are things out there like McDonald's and Taco Bell and Burger King, Postnet, H&R Block, the list goes on and on of all the franchises that are out there, the names that you recognize, yet really only 8% of all these establishments are franchises. Now go ahead and answer this. What percent do you think? What percent of service and retail dollars go to franchises in the US annually? Yet only 8% of all these places are franchises. Now, what percentage of the revenue dollars are they earning per year? You ready? All right. It's actually 42%. Only 8% of these businesses are earning 42% of all the money. All right. Guys, that's because franchising is a strategy designed to gain disproportionate market share. And when it's done right, it works incredibly well. So guys, there's lots of choices of opportunities out there for franchises. More than 3,000 active franchise companies exist in more than 60 industries. There's 5 basic categories. There's food, automotive, retail, business services, and residential or personal services. And it goes much, much beyond that. An example of food would be, McDonald's, Subway. Automotive, you have Honest One Auto Care, Jiffy Lube. Retail, you have, I'm trying to think of, they're out there. I'd have to run a Google search real quick, guys. But there's a lot of them. Business services, we're actually a business service here at Transworld. We help people buy and sell businesses. And then residential or personal services, you have all kinds of handyman services, Merry Maids. You have, of course, real estate franchises that you can get into, like the Keller Williams and things of that nature. Guys, there's really no end to all these franchises yet. They're only 8% and they're earning 42%. So go ahead and answer this in the comments now. In your opinion, is this a myth or a truth? That industry experience is required before getting into a franchise business. Do you think industry experience is required? Myth or truth? Well, it's actually a myth, guys. Industry experience to open a franchise. And just like in last week's webinar, we talked about this. Carolyn had never been in business brokerages herself before. She hadn't owned one. She had not been a business broker. She just came into this, saw that it was an industry that suited her and suited her personality, and she went for it. But her background was much different. She was in the green energy sector, as well as the water district, lots of different things that she was in, but nothing along the lines of business brokering. Yet she was able to get into this franchise and be successful. And guys, that's because only 25% of franchise owners actually buy a franchise in the same industry that they were previously employed. Okay, so here's 8 reasons. Now, these are subjective. These are facts, but these are the top 8 facts that, in my opinion, are the reason that franchising is a good opportunity to follow. Now, guys, we're going to be getting into the ways to find financing and ways to get funding for your franchise business. But we're just covering for some of the beginners here, some people that haven't done as much of the research, why this is a good route to go. Now, number 1 reason that I believe is a reason to get in is that you have a proven systematic approach to starting and staying in business. Unlike a fresh startup like my company, TysonIsham.com, of course, you have something that already exists. You don't have to invent a business model. You don't have to invent legal structures, anything of that nature. You're able to just step in and start operating based on a successful model that's already working. Number 2, there is experience. So you have people above you in the company that already have industry experience, and the company itself, all you have to do is duplicate it. And of course, then you have the name recognition. That's the reason that only 8% of all businesses are getting 42% of the revenue dollars. That's because there is trust in a name. So there are, I don't remember what the number is. I think there's like 1 million Subway restaurants now, and they're mostly owned by different people. There may be a handful of people that own 5 or 10 Subways, but most of them are just individual owners. Yet they're getting 42% of that submarket dollar, those submarket dollars, because everyone knows Subway. They know exactly what they're getting. Now, guys, you also have group purchasing power. So instead of being just an individual franchise or an individual business that is trying to purchase at a big level, you have a whole network of these same business owners, and it's able to drive the prices down, and because you're able to buy things at bulk and at bulk prices. Now, you also have training. So you have successful people in this industry, successful people that you can work with to train you exactly how to follow this model. Next, you have ongoing support. So whenever you get a little bit lost, you can always go to those resources. You can always go to those other people in your company to get support on how to operate your business. Next, there's the marketing expertise. I found out the hard way in my first startup business that marketing was probably the most important thing that I was missing. And by not having marketing, my business was just failing and I couldn't pay the bills. You're going to step into a business that already has a structure in place that makes money for hundreds, thousands, or millions of other franchise owners. And then finally, you have the support of other franchisees. Guys, you may have heard of business masterminds and joining different groups of people in franchise businesses, but or not franchise businesses, but just general successful business owners. The beauty of going to other franchisees for support is this is a mastermind of people who are in your exact same business, dealing with the exact same clientele, dealing with the exact same corporation. They're not competitors because they're in different geographic regions, yet you guys are dealing with the exact same things. So whatever issues you're having, you can always go to the other people in that mastermind of that entire franchise to get support and advice. Now, I want you to leave this in the comments too. Guys, do you think it's a myth or a truth that franchises are expensive? In your opinion, is a franchise expensive? Myth or truth? Okay, we're going to do the answer. The answer is, it depends on you, honestly. Here I have a left column. You have the total investment of different franchise opportunities. And on the right, you have the percentage of franchise opportunities that fall into that price range. So 28.6% of franchise opportunities are less than $50,000. 23.9% cost $50,000 to $100,000 to get into. 32.7%, our largest group, are anywhere between $100,000 and $250,000, and so on from there. So I'll let you guys do the math and look at that, but I'll let you decide in your opinion whether or not that's expensive. Now, for me, the answer is it depends on the return I'm getting from the franchise. I could get into a franchise that's over $500,000 if it's giving me the right amount of return. You know, but say I could only get funding for a franchise that's under $50,000, it's going to depend on what kind of return I can get in that situation. So my recommendation is getting into something that fits your criteria and something that's going to give you the return, and then invest the appropriate amount into the right franchise for yourself. Now, here's the general funding requirements, guys, and some ballpark numbers. I'll let you look these over. Okay, so real quick, I'll explain this. In retail, you're generally going to need 200 to 350,000 franchise in that industry. That's total. Fast food, you're generally going to need anywhere from 190,000 to millions. You know, McDonald's franchises generally are on the millions end of that scale. Cleaning services, anywhere from 90,000 to 175,000. So just bear in mind, guys, this is after you add up the price of the franchise, getting your location, getting your inventory, if applicable, add up all the different numbers that go into opening a business. This is all the funding that you're going to need to get into that industry. So for example, you look at senior care, it says 55,000 to 185,000. You may find a franchise company where the fee and everything is only 55,000 to get in, but then once you consider location and licensing and insurance and everything else, it could go all the way up to 185,000 by the time you're ready. So that's kind of how these scales work. No matter who you are, that's still a good chunk of change. But like I said, approaching this as an investment and something that's giving you a return on your money, whether or not it is expensive, is ultimately up to you. So the question becomes how we get funding for this. And guys, these are some of the creative funding options that I want to cover for you. So the first few are the ones that we're trying to avoid with this webinar. First of all, we have crawling to in-laws, a viable option, but not a very attractive one. Second, you have out-of-pocket. If you have enough money in the bank, you've saved up money from your career, or you've recently sold a business that and you wanted to get into something else that was proven that you could just step in and operate without inventing everything from scratch. You've done that before, didn't want to deal with it again. You could go out of pocket. Next, you have investors. There are angel investors, VCs, and of course, locals, relatives, other people of that nature who you could approach to fund your franchise. Now, those are the standard options that everyone kind of knows. Now, I want to get into some alternate options that could be helpful if the previous options do not work for you. First of all, we have SBA. That's the Small Business Administration. They do loans for businesses, and you guys can, of course, seek funding that way. If you are interested in getting SBA approval, we have helped many people with that. Send us an email or shoot us a message on Facebook Messenger, and we will get you guys in touch with the right people to get approved for an SBA loan. But of course, you know, you need good credit and you need a fair amount of money down. Now, let me talk about the mortgage option. Something that most Americans have is they have equity in their home. I we'll give you an extreme example and then let you guys decide how this fits for you. So I was speaking recently with my girlfriend about a friend of ours. His dad actually sold, when he was a kid, his dad sold his house and moved his family into a small apartment so that he could get the money from that house to then go invest in some of the local Las Vegas hotel casinos. Well, he ended up owning a large share of those casinos, and even though the family had to live in an apartment for a couple of years, he ended up making a lot of money and died with a net worth of $700 million, which he was able to give a large chunk of to his sons and enjoyed a lifestyle with a private jet and so forth. Now, that may not be your goal, and you may not be willing to go that extreme, and you don't have to. You can always get an equity home on your loan, or equity loan on your home, take the value that you already have in the home and reinvest it into a franchise. Now, that is a viable option. Again, doesn't work for everybody, but keep that in mind. And I do want to tell you guys as well about the 401k option. We work with a company here called Benetrends. Now, Benetrends is able to take money out of your 401k that you've already had money filtering into throughout your career. They're able to take that, put it into your bank account, and then you can use that as investment capital to start your own franchise business. Now, here's why I think that is smart and a responsible way to go about this. Number one is you may have a 401k account that's earning an average of 6% or 8% if you are extremely lucky. Now, even on the 8% side, where you're extremely lucky, you have to consider the fees and everything else that are involved. Okay. However, if you were to open a franchise business like Carolyn has done here with Transworld Business Advisors of Las Vegas, you may begin to see a 20, 30, 50, or even 100% annual return on those dollars, whereas with the 401k account, you're only earning 8%. Now, it's not guaranteed, just like anything else in this life. To you operating your franchise business well and executing on the plan that the franchisor gives you as the franchisee. But if you're a driven person and you're able to create the same thing for yourself that you've created for your previous employers, then using Benetrends to extract that 401k money and reinvest it in yourself as the form of a franchise business could be a fantastic route to go. So guys, go ahead and consider those things. And if you're interested in any of these options, shoot us an email and we will connect you with the most pertinent and available information and people who can guide you through that process. And these are some of the same people that we've used ourselves, not only for our clients, but also, you know, Carolyn herself and me being a part of Transworld using for starting different businesses and franchises. So guys, the next thing you need to do is put this in action. I need you to either email cjohnson@tworld.com or tyson@tysonisham.com. You can screenshot this or take a picture with your phone, whatever you need to do to save these emails, or pause the video, of course, if you're watching the replay, and get in touch with us, and we'll help you take the next step towards getting into franchise business. Now, guys, 4 questions. We don't Q&A have some, but go ahead and leave something in the comments or just send us a message in email or Facebook Messenger, and we will be in touch. So thank you, everyone, for your time today. Thanks for checking us out. If there's anything that we can do for you, we will be waiting for your message, and we hope you have a fantastic day. Now, I'm going to be back on screen probably for a second. Carolyn just stepped in for the last minute here, so I'll let her wave bye before we head out.
Thanks for joining us.
If you can hear her. I don't know, because I was on the headphones today, guys. Anyway, thanks for joining us. As I stated before, the office is a little messy because we're moving locations right now. Business grows. That's what it does when you follow the franchise model and you're successful. So we're going to be going to a new office. It's going to be even cooler and better going forward. But guys, keep showing up. We'll keep helping you. Keep asking your questions, and anything, we're here. We're the pros. Okay, guys, have a good one.